We're down at the Peel Centenary Centre for a very interesting sneak preview, I should imagine we're going to call it, because it's...
Let's call it beta testing for an audience.
Beta testing. It's a film that you've been making for, I think, about a year.
A year and a half now, since I first decided to take this insanity route and to start this project, basically.
And it's called, give its full title?
Flavian, Essence of an Idiot.
Okay. I believe it was meant to be shot a bit quicker than it turned out to be.
It was. You know, best will in the world. We did actually set aside a schedule of 2 weeks last March to get the back of it broken. But due to logistical kind of problems, we had to adapt and survive and move and relocate, etc. Typical guerrilla indie filmmaking.
I know what you mean by that.
Yep.
Fast and Furious, was it?
It's fast and furious. It's run and gun sometimes. And then because the idea was that we could show that we can shoot a film on this island, feature length, using local actors, local crew, some of them unproven, untested, inexperienced, and still produce a long format film. So that was the idea. We've done it for less than £1,000, deliberately. We've shot it with prosumer kit. For instance, the sound team were learning from day one on the job. They hadn't had any experience, so they had to learn from me. And the same with most of the crew, no experience at all. So it's trying to basically prove that with guidance, with passion, with creativity, you can do anything.
I like it. Have you written the script as well? I mean,
the original script was a guy called Nick Clark, who's in the UK, and I bought the rights from him about 3 years ago to develop the script. But in its original format, it wasn't shootable, given our budget for a start. So I've developed it to revision 14, I think, we actually shot. So yes, part written by me, produced, directed, and filmed.
So tonight, this beta testing, I love that idea.
Yeah, because
it's a long way off then, is it, or what?
No, it's almost there. Just in the last couple of days, authoring for the Blu-ray for delivery, I've noticed a couple of little things that need a bit more polish.
Okay.
Now, also bearing in mind that we've got an unproven crew, a crew in training on the job, there are some bits that, given higher-end equipment or more experience, could be slightly more polished. Right. But it is what it is, and it's exceptional given those limitations.
I should really ask you, what is the story about? I mean,
it's about a guy called Flavian who's so full of his own self-importance that he thinks the world needs to hear about him and his essence. So he engages a maverick film director to film Flavian and his world, to deliver it to the world, who obviously needs to hear this message. Now, unfortunately, Flavian is like a real person, but just offset by a couple of degrees. And the same with his friends. So anyway, this director lasts about 4 days before his patience goes and he snaps. And he walks off the project, leaving Flavian and his slightly dodgy mates to continue with the filming.
It's a film within a film.
A film within a film, it is, yeah. However, things start to go wrong that aren't just their making. They're quite capable of making things go wrong, but external forces seem to be at work. And in fact, there's actual sabotage going on. And it turns out that our director didn't fully leave the project, and he's carried on secretly filming and throwing spanners in the works.
Okay. When will people get a chance to see this? I mean, where's your ambitions to have this screened?
I think the idea is not to go for cinematic release and, you know, Cannes sales agents, that kind of route. I don't want to do that because it's not that kind of film. It's a niche genre, and I see it being video on demand. So content providers...
So you're looking for Netflix or those?
Not so much Netflix, because they are driving the price down far too much, let's be honest. But maybe Amazon Prime or someone along those channels.
And selling it on iTunes?
Or iTunes, or even possibly, depending on what distribution, digital distribution network we can get into, maybe some of the smaller channels.
Right. Okay, well, we're in obviously empty area, but in a few minutes everyone's going to be in here.
Yes.
You're going to be obviously listening and watching for reaction, I should imagine.
Yes, I should be at the back cringing. But, you know, it is what it is. It's a remarkable story that we've managed to get here, given what we've had to go through to do it.